Hey there, couples. It's Brian and Tracy, and today we're starting in on our 3X track made just for marriage. So that means, Tracy, we're going to be talking about emotions, relationships, and character in the next several weeks together.
Yeah, so we already have a 3X track that we've done that can be used in the workplace or in friendships, but we thought it would be good to talk about these concepts in the context of marriage because we have emotions, we need to understand them, and then we need to be able to understand the emotions of our spouse.
So in this first topic, we're going to take a look at something called EQ. We're going to talk about self-awareness, and we're going to finish by encouraging couples to learn to empathize with one another. But Tracy, the big idea is that emotions aren't something to fear in marriage. They actually help us to connect to one another as a couple. They motivate us toward action. So we shouldn't ignore them, we shouldn't deny them, but we should work hard as a couple in our marriage to understand them.
Yeah, so in your couple, maybe one of you is a little bit more emotive. You're emotional, you express your emotions, but maybe you're married to someone that isn't as emotional and maybe withholds emotions. Here's what we want you guys to understand. A healthy couple is going to be able to express their emotions in the way that they're comfortable, but that we don't fear it or deny or withhold sharing how we really feel, that we have a trusting relationship, and in our marriage, we're able to say, you know what? I'm feeling this, and this is the reason why. That's the goal that you want to get to.
So let's start with this concept of emotional intelligence. And this is the ability to understand yourself and others. So your marriage will be strongest, husbands, wives, when you understand your own emotions first, and then you value your spouse enough to want to understand theirs.
This is the two sides of emotional intelligence. It's the ability to understand yourself, but also the ability to understand someone else. So when we're talking about this in the context of your marriage, you're not an evolved person. You're not a healthy person if you can only understand yourself. A healthy person is going to say, yep, I need to understand why I feel what I feel. But I also have to recognize that my spouse has feelings and emotions also, and I should want to understand them.
And all of that is called emotional intelligence, which, Tracy, is different from IQ, right? EQ is one thing, IQ is another thing. And probably if you have to choose one of them, EQ is more important in your marriage.
Yeah, being smart and intellectual is great, but I know a lot of smart people that are lonely or are in unhealthy, unsatisfying marriages because they don't understand the emotional piece. They don't understand their own emotions, and they definitely don't understand the emotions of their spouse. So here's the idea. A healthy marriage would say, we value each other enough to make our marriage as healthy as it can be by articulating how we feel, but then also giving that space for our spouse to say, okay, I understand how you feel. Here's how I feel, and working together to find compromise and common ground and to grow together.
So the first piece to EQ is self-awareness. That means that you can identify the what and the why of your own emotions. And when you do that, those insights can help you to avoid unmet expectations in your marriage.
Yeah, think about the last argument maybe you had, or the last time you maybe gave the silent treatment to your spouse. You're mad, they've upset you, they've frustrated you, they offended you. And so now you've kind of withdrawn. You're playing the silent treatment, you're avoiding each other. Self-awareness would say that spouse who's upset and hurt needs to identify, okay, what happened? Why did I feel that way? Why am I feeling upset? Why am I hurt? What exactly did my spouse say or not say? What did they do or not do? How were they insensitive to me? And then you need to be able to go to your spouse and to be able to share those insights with them. Because for the spouse who's on the receiving end, maybe of that silent treatment, they can't read your mind. So you might have expectations that you think they should understand, like, hey, warning sign, I'm mad at you. But your spouse isn't responding and coming towards you saying, hey, you look upset. What happened? What can I do? It just creates a lot of confusion and mistrust really in the marriage because it's on you to say, this is what I'm feeling and this is why. That's going to help your spouse then know, okay, what do I need to do in response to that?
So if self-awareness is one side of the coin of EQ, then empathy is the other side. And as a couple, your ability to empathize is the bridge to a healthy connection with your spouse. So instead of seeing every struggle through your own eyes, recognize that your spouse has a point of view that also deserves to be heard. And that takes empathy.
So think about the last fight that you were in. Think about something that really just emotionally had you both pretty charged and upset. So it's one piece for you to understand your own emotions, like what really made you mad. But the other piece of it, the bridge towards your spouse then, is that ability to say, well, now I need to see it through your eyes. How did you experience that same event? Because you guys might have totally different views on one common situation. So if you want to have a healthy marriage, the idea is going to be, okay, here's how I experienced it. Here's what I was thinking and feeling. But now let me put myself in your shoes for a minute and see how you were thinking and feeling about it. And then together kind of create a joint understanding that then will allow you guys to start getting to some solutions, or how do we avoid this happening the next time?
Right. So in a healthy marriage, you can't be selfish and assume that your perspective is the only one that matters. You have to be willing to empathize. And that's the last part of good emotions. And in your marriage, this is something that is worth working toward, because it's going to make you, your spouse, and your whole marriage better.